Hi, thanks for joining our today's definitely not a rant episode. So today I'd like to address a very big issue that whomever does anything with vinyl will most definitely encounter. Now what I'm speaking of is decal sticking to back paper rather to a transfer tape. Well, this video was planned, but it wasn't planned so soon, and on today's 7 p.m. 29th December, it was specifically prompted by a customer of ours, and I'll actually read you the message that we received. So the message goes like this: I have just got around to putting this on my car and I'm really dissatisfied with how it's gone. The letters would not stick down no matter how much I use the squeegee, because we provide a just a card for you to use on your decal, and we provide instructions that say squeegee it out before and after application, so to say. And it doesn't stop there, it goes. A few of the elements did not work either. I was really looking forward to having this on my car. Now, with this message, we've got two issues to address. First of all, the decal and how to work with decal, because obviously while you or me are dealing with vinyl on a daily basis, vinyl decal, not the round plate type of stuff, we have more experience with this and we know how to address this. And the second one is basically while customer does not say specifically we want this bag, or the customer has not opened the case on eBay, this was on eBay specifically, they are not asking for a refund either as well. So we have to address the customer service issue that also is present there and must be addressed. Speaking of which, ignoring the problem because the customer does not request anything from you is also addressing the issue, just sets out you as a company or individual who's working on the issue. So let's see what to do about the issue. What happens is, and what customers often refer to, this is not a product we sell. What customer refers to is this. Now, what customer, and speaking of which, this decal has been laying around for at least, I want to say a year and a half. So I will do a separate video on longevity of the devices and can you pre-make them, sorry. But yes, what customer says that he used the squeegee, well, that's what we use around the office, but that's what we send out, and just a plastic PVC card, 170 micron something. And the customer says that they squeegeed the whole thing out firmly and whatnot. I can even use mine for that matter. See if that does any better. It kinda did. And that's why the customers, what they will do is, at best, so they will become frustrated and they will do that and then that and whatnot. And they will end up in a situation where something works, but it still mostly doesn't. And it doesn't necessarily have to stay in storage for 2 years or whatever to end up in this situation. This is very typical. So if you don't know, and speaking of which, I do have a couple of them, they are both old and stuff, so I'll be making a specific video, a direction, a guidance video if you will, where I will specifically show this and explain as in to a customer's perspective what to do with this. So if you ever encounter or you're in need of a video to show how to deal with this and explain that this is not vinyl's fault, this is not sticker's fault, that this is happening, and just how to actually work with this and how to use this for your customer to send to your customer, let's say, just so it doesn't look like you're trying to get out of something and blame the customer instead. I will link the video in the description, and just send the customer to, let's say, this or one other of the other videos that actually you can find on the internet to get an independent, so to say, opinion. So what you have to do in order to get them out is not actually squeegee them out, but just press the element that does not stick. So put the transfer tape back and just press firmly from both sides with your fingers the element that does not stick to a transfer tape. As you can see, it's still not peeling off. So you go back, you squeeze it again with doing this with both of my hands now, and when you are peeling it off, if it still doesn't want to come back, go back and find a corner, any type of corner of your design, and when you're peeling, just try and stick it to the whole thing, to the transfer tape, if at all possible. So all you have to do is rinse and repeat, literally. Well, yes, some of your designs could be quite intricate. It could be quite having a lot of elements, and if for some reason one corner doesn't work, it doesn't mean that the design is faulty. It still peels. Just try another corner. So let's say, and this is how you go about removing the thing. Well, I mean, yes, some work is required, but there's nothing wrong with the decal, obviously. And while yes, if you don't know this, then this can be frustrating, and it can cause some frustration to your customers. But as soon as they know what to actually do, i.e. not just squeegee it out, I should probably include that into my, I just not sure how to explain this in simple terms, if you will, because I mean it's I mean, you can explain it 1,000 times, but unless you want, it's one of them things that's easier to get when you actually see it in action, rather than just writing an essay on this specific topic. But this is how this actually works, and that's pretty much it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the vinyl itself, and now it obviously sticks well. Well, doesn't stick well to the packaging, and it sticks to the you get the idea. But yes, this is the main point I wanted to address today, that I will be making a separate video for just that. While this can help you prevent these things as they happen and the customer gets to you before they do anything else with any of your designs, and they say you can't get it off, and you're like, okay, here's the video, there's nothing wrong with the decal and stuff, so just look at this video or any other video, and you will get the idea, and try this, try that, and if nothing helps, we'll resend the design or something like that. But obviously, while that is good, it will not solve the issue like I'm facing right now. Well, one of them specifically, where customer does not request a refund, the customer does not open a case, and the customer all he does, he doesn't ask for a item to be remade and resent. He is plain complaining. So what would you do in this kind of situation? Well, you have a number of options. You could just ignore the customer. You can argue with the customer saying it's your own fault, we are not responsible for your actions, and if you can't handle a fragile piece of decal, there's nothing we can do. Order one more and pray that something's gonna happen. Positive that you managed to actually do it. Or you could say, right, we are sorry that this happened. Well, we have to keep the lights on, so go away. Yeah. Another way of solving this would be, oh, sorry that this has happened. Here's your refund. And you block the customer. And you never have to deal with them again. Well, you've just made a happy customer? Well, relatively. And then you block them. Also doesn't seem too good in my eyes, at least. So, what I'm gonna do in this specific situation, while obviously, if you have a CRM system, the customer management system, yeah. Or even if not, if you just keep the list of your customers in a notebook and you just read the repeat offenders and stuff, you can check it against that. But I'll give it a relatively high chance that this is your first time customer and they are having the issue because they just don't know how to use the vinyl decals and stuff. And in order to have a repeat business from them, depending on your products and your goals, of course, but generally, if you will do this, I would assume they would be telling someone, and that product was, I do believe it was baby related something, and I would assume as a mum that probably bought the product, if you do this kind of gesture, a goodwill gesture, if you will, and many wills, she was probably, or he, because I haven't actually checked, who was it? The person will most probably spread the word, the good word, obviously, about you, that this thing has happened, and yes, that potentially might cause some offenders to come to yourself. But it's obviously easy to see when you've got a repeat guys coming and saying the same thing or coming with new excuses. So it's easy to filter out, and I wouldn't be worried about that pretty much. So, as a conclusion, yes, you will encounter this a lot. And how do you deal with it? You either spend time each time arguing with the customer, or you can just provide them with a link. You can even make a video yourself, because as I've said, it's one of them things that I consider better be shown once than rather than just explain a thousand times. And you just include a link on your listing, let's say, so the customers will know, or if you include a guideline, just include a link to your video material on the instruction leaflet guide, whatever the thing is that you're sending out, so the customers know how to apply your decals. And in this way, if the customers have an issue, they will first look at this or the material you've provided, and you will have less issues like that. Because so far, every single time I'm receiving a complaint like that, or a case opened, or a request for a refund, resend, whatever, every single time I'm swearing to make one, and it finally came to the time when I actually have the time and the option to make one. So as I've said, I'll link the video in the description, and hopefully this will help you as well as will help myself in order to prevent these situations from happening. Obviously there will still be some, but at least hopefully there will be less of them. So that's pretty much it for this episode, and thanks for joining.